Let's cast your mind back to Sunday where we got that brilliant win against Liverpool in the last minute of the game. I'm hearing a lot of like rival fans being like, oh, Spurs were crap on the day. They didn't deserve anything, blah, blah, blah. So, Henry, do you think we did deserve the 3 points on Sunday? Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say Saturday. Was it Sunday? Saturday, yeah.
They're all merging into one for me, mate. So don't take any notice of me.
Every day's a good day at the moment for us, isn't it? I think, do we deserve the points? I mean, look, all the rival fans are going to say Liverpool have been hard done by, right? And we've all watched the footage. Everyone's watched it. But it's about time. I don't like winning like that, but it's about time something actually went for us. The amount of VAR decisions that have gone against us. Do you remember, cast your mind back, do you remember when we played Sheffield United and Lucas Moura fell onto the ball and they gave it as a handball? Like, stupid stuff like that goes against us. In that game, I actually think we played our best football when it was 11 versus 11. When they went down to 10 and 9, they sat back, and all we did for the majority of that time was pass it around their box because we couldn't find a way in, and all we were doing was giving it to Kulu. But did we deserve the points? For me, I'm going to say yes, we did. Obviously, we dominated possession. Obviously, we had more players, but even when it was 11 versus 11, I felt that we were in control to a degree. Liverpool, for me, the way that they set up exactly like they thought they were extremely dangerous on the counter. The likes of Salah, Diaz. I'm surprised they didn't bring Nunes in. I don't know if he was injured or not, but, you know, these players like Bissouma, I thought he had a very good game. I know someone said he's on 4 yellow cards, which is a bit of a worry. I thought Maddison was a bit quiet. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it was his best game. I know he played the ball into Richarlison for the first goal, but I thought he was a bit quiet. Vicario made some top saves. But on the balance, I'd say, yes, we deserve it. And that's, I think, our best start in what someone said the other day, isn't it? 71 years now. Our best start to a season or something like that. Which is...
I mean, in when we won the double, I think we won like the first 14 out of 15 games or something like that. So
what's that? 60 odd years ago or whatever it is now, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we deserved it. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, you know, we when it was 11 versus 11, I thought we played our best football. When they went down, Liverpool defended well and made it hard for us. People are going to say in the comments, but, you know, the goal should have stood. But this happens. The amount of VAR decisions that have gone in favour of Man City or gone in favour of Liverpool and Arsenal, but the minute, you know, it's against Liverpool, everyone's up in arms. You know, no one cared when, was it the Wolves game in the Cup when they got knocked out and it went for them? They weren't crying saying, oh, you know, Wolves maybe should have gone through. But because it's against them, and we all know how Sky love to talk about Liverpool City and United, everyone's crying about it. Just move on. Like, just move on, mate. It's one game. Like, I don't know what you guys think. That's just me.
I think, like, when it was 11v11, I actually thought Liverpool probably edged it and were the better side. But I did think once they went down to 10 men when the second half started, I thought we were well the better side from then on until maybe the other man got sent off. And I hate this kind of thing where opposition fans go, oh, yeah, but we had 10 men. Yeah, but it's your fault you had 10 men. You're putting in challenges like that. High leg on in that position, so. And the Jota sending off. I mean, it's not like that was our doing. That was your doing. So, like, don't come at it like us with an excuse of why we beat you because that was the situation. You're the ones that put yourselves in that situation. So I hate that kind of excuse. But I think, like, when you take the game and look at the 90-minute period, then I do think we deserve to win because I think we were a better team throughout the 90 minutes. Sean, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think a lot of what my thoughts have been spoken by the two of you. I agree with you, Ben, 100% that excuses like, oh, you know, you don't deserve to win because you needed an own goal to score or to take the 3 points, or you know you had to beat 9 men. Like, part of playing well is keeping 11 people on the pitch. Part of playing well is not being rash with your challenges, or if you get a yellow card, even if it is an unlucky one, to then not go rash and not dive in, you know, 30 seconds later. So. Look, I think the 11 against 11, I thought the Liverpool started well, but Tottenham always start slowly anyway. In every single game, Tottenham are always out of the trap slower. It's just the way we play. So when you look at the kind of momentumometer or whatever that thing is, you're going to always see in the opening minutes, generally speaking, it doesn't matter who you play, you're always going to see the opposition have those first 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. I think that Tottenham were a match, or if not better, against 10 men. And obviously, once it became against 9 men, it was one-way traffic with them just shutting up shop and parking the bus. And it was a way to figure out how we could break them down. It annoys me when people say, "Oh, you don't deserve to win because it took you nearly 100 minutes to win." I'm sorry. Is there suddenly more value to scoring in the first minute than there is in the 90th? Like, that's just irrelevant. The game is how long it is. You've got as many opportunities, you've got as much time as you have to score. And Tottenham are finding a way to get it done late, which I think is a test. If Man United were getting it done, or if Arsenal were scoring in the 95th minute, or City or Liverpool, the narrative would be that's the mentality of champions. When Tottenham
Arsenal
do it,
do you remember Nelson's goal against Bournemouth? Everyone was going, it's a change of mentality. Yet when I say we've got 3 late goals against Liverpool and Sheffield United, you're this deluded Spurs fan. What is the difference?
Yeah, you're lucky. Your team can't do it. Your team can't do it. It takes a moment of luck in the last second. It drives me up the wall. But you know what? But I genuinely don't know. People saying I've had so many arguments this week with my mates that are Liverpool fans who have this idea that Liverpool were robbed of a result because they were robbed of a goal. Like even Mark Goldbridge and those sorts of guys saying that Liverpool were robbed of at least a point, probably all 3. Like, how can you possibly know what would have happened had the goal stood? It's a whole new timeline, whole new reality. They were robbed of a goal. That was it. And I feel bad on that basis. I feel like it's a shame because an otherwise cracking game didn't play out the way it could have and should have. But ultimately, Tottenham didn't do anything wrong. You have to play what's in front of you. And we found a way in the end. I do have my concerns about the fact that Tottenham didn't know how to create effective chances against 9 men. And that, to me, is a question mark that, I worry about a little bit. Like, I think that, have Tottenham never practiced against what to do against 10 men? Why was it that why wasn't somebody tapping on Bissouma on the shoulder and saying, mate, you've got to hurry the ball around quicker. You've got to get the wide guys, stay wide. You have to spread the park as much as you can. There was no communication going on. So I've got kind of black marks against the overall performance. But on the day overall, there's no way you could say that Liverpool deserved to win. So for me, I think Tottenham did deserve the points, 100%.
Sim?
Look, I'm going to caveat this by saying I was delighted that we got the victory. I thought that the persistence and the mentality to pretty much go to the end was fantastic, and I was proud of the team, even if I wasn't too happy with the performance. But I think 11v11, I was happy with the performance. I thought maybe Liverpool were shading it, but I thought we were definitely in the game. That midfield was bossing it. And look, and to be fair, against Arsenal, against Man United, we've seen this Tottenham team struggle in the early exchanges and then find solutions and find their way to build up and play out from the back and ultimately take control of those games. And so there's nothing in this game to suggest that we wouldn't have done this against a Liverpool team, even though they were maybe shading the early exchanges. Although, again, I think we also hit them with a couple of moments our end as well. So I'm not saying they were totally dominant, but maybe they shaded those early exchanges. But once they went down to 10 men, we had a really great period just after their goal got disallowed where we were really on top. We scored the goal. Richarlison hits the post. We were looking like we could have gone maybe a second goal. But we did lose control of that game a bit, even with 10 men at the end of that first half. We conceded the goal. We probably should have gone 2-1 down as well through Luis Diaz. And there were warning signs even before because Diaz scored, which obviously got ruled out from offside. That was at 0-0. So there were warning signs there. They had that ending to the first half, which I felt we ended that half really poorly, and Ange acknowledged that after the game. And look, and that was really disappointing. We came out the second half, and I think we started really well. I have to say, Alisson made a couple of cracking saves. We were looking a lot quicker, a lot sharper, and we were looking to really press our advantage. But I think that 9 men did change it. And I have to say, when they went down to 9 men, I think Liverpool defended exceptionally well, albeit they only had one option, which is to put literally 8 outfield players in and around the penalty area, defend really deep, clog up all the central areas, gift us a bit of space out wide, knowing that we've got no aerial ability in the box because Son was there, and we weren't really flooding enough players in the box. And I have to say, for those last 20 minutes, that was one of the most frustrating 20 minutes I've ever seen. I think from a Tottenham performance, I think I'm looking at the stats here. We had 3 shots in that 20 minutes. So it was 20 minutes plus 6 minutes added on time, so closer to half an hour, really. We had 3 shots. I think what annoyed me as well is that Porro and Udogie kept being inverted, which I felt like was the wrong decision. They needed to be playing out wide and getting
literally the first time they did it.
the first time we did it, Porro forces an own goal. That was literally the first time we did it throughout that whole 20-minute spell. We didn't have any sort of shooting shots from outside the box. Obviously, Maddison and Son went off, and maybe we lost a bit of quality because of those two players going off. That was a bit frustrating, but I don't think we varied our attack enough, as Ange said. That I completely agree with that. We kept doing the same thing. We didn't ask enough questions of that back line as much as they defended well, and it was always going to be difficult to break them down. We didn't ask any questions of them. All we did was get to the edge of the penalty box and pass it until someone cut inside and overhit a cross or had a shot blocked. That was it. We didn't really ask any questions whatsoever. And I turned around to the guy next to me, but 5 minutes before we scored, I said the only way we're getting we're getting 3 points here is a lucky deflection or an own goal. That is the only way, because we're not doing anything. And we did get that bit of luck. But I have to say, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I look, if we didn't get their own goal, essentially, I think Liverpool fully deserve that point. I wouldn't say they deserve the win, but I don't think you can sit here and say Liverpool wouldn't have deserved the point if Matip clears that cross over the bar rather than his net. I think you have to say Liverpool deserved that point, because when they scored the goal, they earned that moment. They were on top of that moment, and when they went down to 9 men, they defended exceptionally, and we didn't create anything. So I can't say that the point wouldn't have been deserved for Liverpool, but at the end of the day, we kept going and we got the goal. So I'm delighted with that. But I think we got lucky. I think we probably deserved to draw the game.
Do you think, though? I was having an argument with someone outside about this. When you bring on Richarlison and Veliz, Richarlison, I think I don't know if you will agree that his best asset is his aerial threat, and Veliz, from what we know of him, from what we've seen his highlight reel, and from what we've seen in the under-21s, he's an aerial threat kind of guy. I mean, I was infuriated by the fact. I completely agree with you, Sim, that we weren't pushing it wide enough. Either the fullbacks weren't staying out wide, or if they were inverting, when Decky was given the ball 25 times, he would just do his usual cut inside thing. It was infuriating to me that we weren't popping any balls into the area to allow the two big target men to try and to throw some area weight in it. But people outside were arguing with me, saying that would have been a silly thing to do against the size of the Liverpool defence that was still on the pitch at the time. And I'm thinking, which one would have been better, whipping it low from the wide or whipping it in the air from wide?
Well, for me, they at 9 men, right? They took off Salah, they took off Diaz, Jota was sent off. They didn't have any attackers on, right? So you've just got to at that point, in my opinion, you throw caution to the wind. You take off the defender, you bring on Veliz, you literally go gung ho. You literally throw everything. I don't think we went even. I think we actually were a bit too pragmatic against 9 men. I know maybe if you look at a picture at the end of the game, you have Romero and Van de Ven in and around the penalty area. But I think for a lot of that period, we were actually too worried than we should have been of Liverpool maybe getting a counter attack. And you can maybe sense that with what Postecoglou was saying at the end of the game, saying they still maintain the threat and all that kind of stuff, which I understand maybe with 10 men, but with 9 men, I don't think that was true. So I think what you've got to do in that situation, what I would do is you've got 2 players extra, right? So you've got to flood the area and outnumber them. That's the only way. Yes, they're going to, with Konate, Van Dijk and Matip, they're going to have the aerial advantage physically. But if you outnumber them with sheer numbers and you put crosses in the box, you're going to get some joy if you put enough crosses in.
The only problem with that, though,
is if you're outnumbering them in the box because of you've got a 2-man advantage, if you just keep going and you keep pumping crossing the box, one of them you will get on the end of. It's just the law of averages. It's just math. It's just maths. So, and I don't think we did that. If you take a screenshot any one moment of in that period, we maybe had 2 or 3 men in the box, but I think we should have thrown even more caution to the wind. We should have completely flooded the box with as many players as possible, maybe leaving a few at the back. Even if we just literally flooded everyone and you left maybe 1 or 2, one player at the back, just
Porro and Adoji at the back.
You just leave Van de Ven. He's got enough pace to deal with Szoboszlai on the break. All they had was Szoboszlai. That's all they had, trying on his own. So you literally keep Van de Ven there and you flood everyone forward. You get the wing backs on out wide who are crossing on the outside, crossing it across the face of goal. And yeah, I'm sure they'll clear a few, but one we would have stuck away. And I think we were too pragmatic actually against 9 men.
Can I just add one thing? Do you know the last 10 minutes we were crying out for was a Perisic delivery. Every time we gave it to Kulu,
100%.
I never really feel comfortable with him crossing the ball. I'd never look at him and think, go on, whip it in. I just feel that he's always going to try and take the man on. The same with Solomon.
Always going to cut inside, always.
Yeah, and with Son, he tries to do these kind of low, like dipping crosses that land towards the lower part of the body. As soon as Perisic gets the ball, you know that's going to be a whipped cross with pace, and it's going to be on the money 7 out of 10 times. Right? That was with Valise in there and Richarlison, Romero, Van de Ven. We were crying out. But unfortunately, at that point, we took off Son, we took off Maddison. The only real probably cross of the ball we had was Porro. And then, like Sim said, the one time we did get out wide, he put a cross in, we scored.
Do you know what really annoys me, though, about Decky, mate? Decky, for me, we all know how predictable he is. We all know that he favours his left. But every single time that I've actually seen him take a man on under duress, he doesn't want to do it. But when he does take the man on and go to the byline, I don't think I've ever seen him not put in a decent, dangerous ball with his right foot. I don't know why he doesn't use it more often. Like, it's not like he's an entirely one-footed player. I know he clearly favours his left foot. But when it's that predictable, and when the left back will always show him on the outside, to cut that area out. The few times a game, or the one time a game that he does actually go and use his right foot, the crosses that he puts in, whether them low or high, are never that bad. And it annoys me that he doesn't want to do it more, because that in and of itself,
is it a confidence thing?
Or if he doesn't want to do it with his right foot, then put him out on the left-hand side for a while. Try him on the left. We've got injuries on our left-hand side now. Maybe put him out on the left and let him use that left foot to whip balls in from the byline rather than from cutting in. I want to see him do what Postecoglou's wingers traditionally do, which is get to the byline and let the fullbacks invert and then occupy that space. He seems to want to do the job of Porro, and it's a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he doesn't use his right foot more. I agree. I think whenever he does, he actually seems pretty good at going on the outside when he does do it, but he doesn't do it enough. And I don't know. It's a difficult one to say. But I think Kulusevski's doing a good job for the team. It's not. I don't think it's a confidence thing.
What else could it be?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think he is pretty good at cutting in from his left, so maybe he thinks that's a good weapon, because it's physically when he stands up against someone, when he's squared up against a defender and he's close to them, it's very hard for them to stop him going on in his left because he's so strong. So maybe he just thinks he's better
every single time. You could see it wasn't working against Liverpool. We needed to find different options. So at least at that point, why not go outside and cross in on your right foot? It just doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I had a lot of criticisms for Kulusevski in that last 20 minutes. I thought we had a good game overall, but those last 20 minutes, I was very frustrated with him.